Okay, my name is Lianne Gonsalves, and I graduated this past May 2010, with 2 degrees in biological sciences and international studies and a minor in Spanish. I was awarded a Park Scholarship to come here, and so that was a huge incentive. I also came in initially very interested in the sciences and all the resources state had to offer, and figured it with a campus with the resources that state has, just as large as it is and as much funding as it receives in so many different fields, that I would find a diverse set of opportunities for myself, and that was exactly what I found. Every student is required to take general education requirements no matter what their field, so that brings the science people into the humanities, the engineering people into the life sciences and the humanities people into the sciences. The idea being that NC State, I guess, wants to have well-rounded human beings as opposed to just people who are very good in their field. And I took some humanities classes, started to dabble in CHASS a little bit, and realized I never wanted to leave. And so at I think the end of my freshman year, the end of my first year, I added international studies as a second major. So in September, mid-September, I'm leaving to go to Venezuela for a year. I got a Fulbright to teach English, and I will be in Caracas, which is the capital of Venezuela, and I will be teaching in a binational center there. And a binational center is essentially a collaboration between our government and the host government, so in this case the Venezuelan government. And I'll be teaching English there to age groups, I assume, ranging from children to adults who are coming in for practical experience. So I'm really excited about that. And then when I come back, I will either be going into Johns Hopkins. I'm deferred from their program right now. I'll be entering Johns Hopkins' School of Public Health, or I will be entering the Foreign Service if they have a spot for me. I was fortunate enough to do 2 internships with the Department of State, one in Washington, D.C. and one in Honduras, and got to know the Foreign Service, which is our diplomatic corps. Got to meet people who were involved in it, discovered I loved, apart from international studies, which is what my background was in, I loved diplomacy, loved the atmosphere, the excitement of it, and applied in the middle of the summer last year to be a Foreign Service officer. It's a long testing process, and actually found out a couple of days ago that I've been finally placed on the registry, and so at this point I'm just in a long list of people waiting to be called up. I'm really excited about it. It's basically my dream job, so. There was a coup! There was a coup when I was in Honduras. I was actually thrown straight into the fray in all of this and got an opportunity to answer phones, talking to American citizens in Spanish and in English, letting them know what the embassy's stance was on things, taking out information, seeing what we could do to connect them with their family members in country. And at one point, at the very end of my internship, I actually got moved to the political section because they were short-staffed in the middle of a coup, unfortunately, and was writing the situation reports that were going up to D.C., and I was told to the Secretary of State's office. So I was writing the reports that maybe Secretary Clinton was reading, so that was a huge thrill for me. So the Spanish minor here was fantastic and so useful, and I had practical ways to apply it at least twice in my undergraduate career, just living abroad, living in a different country, and so that was hugely helpful. I actually came back after my Honduras experience and took a 400 level course in translation and interpretation. I keep going back to when I was a senior in high school, making the decision about what college to go to, what university to go to, and choosing between a lot of very different institutions. And North Carolina State was unique in that it was a public institution. It was land grant. It was massive. It was by far the largest school I applied to. And coming from a very small school, my graduating class had 88 students in it, so a very, very small school. I remember being apprehensive about North Carolina State and wondering, would I be a number? Will this give me the opportunities I want? And in coming here, I truly don't believe I would be where I was if I'd gone anywhere else. I mean, it almost seems serendipitous, the series of events that led me to where I was, and that, I came in pre-med and, just kind of was fulfilling these general education requirements and discovered this wonderful department here in CHASS, and the study abroads I did, which sparked interest in different fields and things like anthropology, which I'd never heard of before, and the things that led me to internships with the State Department, and then the independent studies I did afterwards, and just it seems like it's such a snowball effect. But I think it really just goes back to the fact that I had the flexibility to explore something that just at first seemed like a a little interest that I thought I'd take a class or two and dabble in it and then, be done, go back to the sciences. And, I think it really kind of leads to me 4 years later having two very different degrees and thinking to myself, now how am I going to combine these? And looking at public health as a way to combine a bit of that medicine that I loved and the fact that I want to do international things with an international focus, and having a global health focus to my public health degree in the future, I think is just so hugely in thanks to NC State's diversity and range of resources. I love the fact that North Carolina State has no pretensions. It's very honest in that it is here to educate the people of North Carolina, and I think it does such a great job staying involved in all 100 counties of North Carolina and bringing in students from across the state, and really educating them in everything from agriculture to our solid and amazing engineering school to textiles, and then managing to stay still very competitive in the humanities and social sciences. I feel like CHASS is a bit of a diamond in the rough that doesn't maybe get as much credit as it should, and everybody I know who's kind of discovered CHASS, even if it's only through general education requirements, even if it's the most hardwired engineers have taken at least one class in this college, and it's something that they talk about, and I think that speaks to the quality of not only the curriculum and the diversity of the curriculum, but just the quality of the professors we have here. It's a great college. It's great that a student can come in here and get to explore so many different opportunities and learn so many things that are practical and that they can take out and use in North Carolina and in the rest of the world. I think it's a credit to our state, this institution.